go bull. And this is Uncut News. On Wednesday evening, it was announced that the government had agreed to open a local trade office with Taiwan. In fact, they made the agreement since last month, but they are only announcing it now. Well, this triggered an almost immediate response from China, who has since told the government that it should probably rethink the move. China still considers Taiwan a breakaway province that will be retaken one day, and when our nation gained its independence, it immediately recognized China, well, as the one true China. Most countries actually do. In fact, the only thing stopping Beijing from carpet bombing Taiwan back into the Stone Age is the American military. Of course it's America. But before everyone had a chance to fully grasp the sheer magnitude of just how much our relationship with China would change forever, the Foreign Affairs Ministry today cancelled the agreement because, according to them, the media got the story wrong. And that was enough reason to cancel. And not the fact that good old Xi Jinping probably twisted the president's arm so hard that he had no other choice but to give in. And in other foreign affairs news, the president finally spilled some of the details leading up to the release of the 12 fishermen after nearly 2 weeks in captivity. According to IRJAG, Venezuela released the men because they gave in to international pressure. Yes, just as we would have hoped for, the world came to our aid. Or at least that's what they want you to believe. But on the same day, one American publication said that America's partial lifting of sanctions on Venezuela's ports may have been the act that had actually softened Pharaoh's heart enough to let our people go. Bishop Magic Don Juan Edgel says he's bringing some order to vending at the seawall. The profitable prophet recently told vendors at the site that they can only sell 15 feet off of the main access road at a specific zone on the southern side of the location. He also noted that, as the seawall is government property, no permanent structures are allowed to be built at the location. His ministry is also in the process of completely revamping the seawall to become a great place to take the family to, instead of being a great place to get robbed of your belongings. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is this 2018 Suzuki Swift RS Sport Edition. It comes with Bluetooth, CD, stereo, steering controls, crystal lights, magrams, fog lamps, and much, much more. Pay cash for $3.6 million, or paid down as low as $720,000 with around $70,000 monthly, and it's yours. Call the WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit their showrooms at 171 Peter Rowe Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Enrico sent you for this sweet deal. Here's another reminder of just how cruel this life could be. Last night, 41-year-old taxi driver Rolvin Maynard barely escaped with his life after he was shot multiple times by a passenger and robbed of his $8,000 blue phone. The robbery occurred at Kwamina Road, Benevoacton. Maynard was accompanied by his daughter as he was working that day. He had just dropped off a customer when another flagged him down and asked to be taken to railway embankment. But before they could reach, the suspect whipped out his gun. He tried fighting the man off and ended up getting shot once in the leg and twice in the arm. The bandit ran off with the man's shiny phone and left him bleeding out. Fortunately, he was taken to the hospital, where he is currently listed in stable condition. The IDB recently approved a US $4 million loan for Surinamese food company Finance Guyana Enterprise to construct a large modern factory in the nation. FGE is already one of the largest companies in Suriname, and the loan is expected to be a big boon for the company, which is aggressively moving into the Guyanese market. So, instead of supporting the growth of a local bread maker in Guyana like Yips or even Bakewell, the IDB is going to give money to a foreign company which probably doesn't even pay local taxes because, according to them, it's good for the economy. This morning, Yuji announced that several students will be facing disciplinary action after the university received a selfie video of students in breach of their extensive Rona protocols. Well, they didn't say exactly what the kids were doing, but apparently it was bad enough for the administration to call it unfortunate and deeply disturbing. How's this for a bedtime story? Stupid Bill spends thousands of dollars on a new printer ink. Sensi Bill, on the other hand, refills his empty cartridges at Print for Less for just $1,000. He gets a 6-month, 100% money-back guarantee on every refill. Then the bucket band, and the story ends. Call WhatsApp 667-0066 or visit them on Facebook at Print for Less Guyana. Don't be a stupidity Bill. A man claiming to be Guyanese recently admitted in a Barbados court to jumping off a cement boat and swimming to the shores of the land of the flying fish, where he remained illegally for months before being arrested. On Tuesday, 36-year-old Carlos Arlington Paul pled guilty to entering Barbados by sea, except then at a port of entry and disembarking without the consent of an immigration officer. Wow, what's the charge? He was ordered to remain in the custody of immigration by a magistrate and to pay his own way back to Guyana. So I guess he's stuck there for now. Oh well. It's now time for today's Run Report. Today, the nation recorded 66 new cases. There are now a total of 177 deaths. There are now 5 persons in the ICU and 710 persons in home isolation. The total number of known cases in the country is now 7,780. By the way, the ministry said that 2 other persons have died, but they're not updating that till tomorrow, so don't blame me for the difference in the numbers. Nevertheless, wash your hands frequently before you leave the house, and be sure to mask up and don't touch your nose and mouth. And when you do leave home, avoid large spaces and large crowds, and remember to give 6 meters space between you and others. Now, let's take a look at news in the region. In Trinidad and Tobago, opposition leader Kamala Bissessar said the government must move swiftly to legalize the use of pepper spray, tasers, and other non-lethal devices for women and others to protect themselves from criminals. The former Prime Minister stated that she's been fighting for the law since 2017, and the time is now for change. She also called on the government to publicly identify and name their security experts who have advised against legalization. They're probably a set of criminals themselves. Auntie Kamala's repeated call for pepper spray comes as police are currently investigating the high-profile kidnapping of 23-year-old Andrea Barrett. Digicel is celebrating their 14th anniversary this month, which means they are shaving off the prices. Get the DL3 smartphone for just $14,000, or the DL3 Pro for just $17,500, plus get a 30-day Digicel Prime bundle when you buy any LTE handset. Offer available at Cellular Plus Digicel stores in the City Mall, Starbucks Square, Massey Providence, and Massey Turkine. Don't miss out. Brazilian mining company Vale agreed to pay $7 billion in compensation to the state of Minas Gerais, where the collapse of its dam 2 years ago killed 270 people. Sounds like a damn shame. It also polluted rivers and obliterated the surrounding landscape. Thursday's agreement was the biggest court settlement in Brazilian history. It is intended to compensate the state for the socio-economic damage caused by the disaster, but it doesn't affect a slew of pending homicide and environmental charges in the case. And now for a weird news story of the day. A fight that erupted over snow shoveling allegedly led to a Pennsylvania man shooting 2 of his neighbors to death. The fatal white-on-white crime occurred in Plains Township after 2 feet of snow blanketed the area on Monday. For years, the Coy residents and the Spade residents lived in abject hatred of each other. Neighbors say they just go on like cat and dog, so no one was surprised to see them arguing over something as simple and stupid as shoveling snow. But everything went south when 50-year-old James Goy decided to throw a shovel at 47-year-old Jeffrey Spade. Spade then ran inside and came out with a full clip and nothing but murder on his mind. When police were summoned to the scene, they found Goy and his 48-year-old wife, Lisa, lying dead in the street. And when officers approached Spade's home, they heard a single shot ring out before finding the man dead by a single self-inflicted gunshot wound. Wow, and I thought a prohibition would kill you over something silly. Who said luxury can't be affordable? Move into your own home in 2021. Lenora Estate, West Coast MRR properties are within your reach. Move out of the landlord's place and put that rent money towards your own 5,000 square foot property. Call or WhatsApp 592-618-5702 or call +1 516 476 2172 for more info. Now, moving on to our Uncut News Views Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So, you give your responses in the comments, and we just might read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, after hearing about just how much potential tax revenue Guyana is missing out on, should we reduce the tax exemptions in future contracts with oil companies? Caesar said, If a Guyanese company was working or exploring in the USA, they'd be paying full, if not extra income tax. No way Exxon should be taking our resources and shafting us too. Henty Varswick said, ExxonMobil, a $350 billion company, came to Guyana and invested billions of dollars. They created thousands of jobs and they give us 2% of the royalties along with 50% of the profits. We need to stop being money-hungry people. Oh, get a load of this person. They might actually be PR for Exxon, I guess. Aha! And finally, Carl Someone said, the only way local content policy came under the spotlight is because of the arrival of ExxonMobil. Imagine what was going on before the latter arrived. So I think we shouldn't only look to enforce restrictions on various exemptions that are currently at ExxonMobil's disposal, but we should also look to other foreign investors as well. Good answers, people. So tonight I'll leave you with this question. Do you support the government's decision to backtrack on the Taiwan office, or does it look like we're being too inconsistent? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in Friday's episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bullford saying good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.